Due to the longer size of the previous video, I have decided to cut the size. That's why I have dissociated the whole lecture into smaller videos. Okay, so our discussion was confined with power measurement using 3 voltmeter and ammeter. Now, as I told in the last video, that our discussion will be confined with electrodynamometer type wattmeter and induction type wattmeter and few special construction of them in AC measurement, of course. This is a electrodynamometer type wattmeter. You know, this is current coil, this is pressure coil, this is non-inductive resistance R. Listen to this lecture carefully, because few of you have asked a question in the last discussion that, sir, what is the function of compensating coil? That was not clear. After this video, I think that will be clear to you. Now, look at here. What is the function of the current coil? It is carrying the load current. And what is the function of pressure coil? It is carrying the current proportional to the load voltage. Mind it. I think we have gone it in face-to-face theory classes before, that actually potential coil or current voltage transformer, they are not actually carrying proportional voltage. They are carrying some current which is proportional to the voltage across them. Okay. Now here, one thing, it is known to you that what is the working function, I mean to say, in a steady state, what when deflecting torque equal to controlling torque, what is the working equation of electrodynamometer type instrument? P by, if that is I1 to dm d theta. Now here in this case, what is I1? If you treat it as I1, if you treat it as I2, now I1 is IC and your I2 is V by RP. So V into I by RP into cos theta. So V into I cos theta, that becomes P power. So that's why if dm theta d theta, that is made linear excuse me, if this dm d theta, you cannot neglect it. If this can be made linear, then power is proportional to the deflection of the pointer. Okay, that is the condition, do not forget it. For any electrodynamometer type wattmeter, if dm d theta, change of mutual inductance with angular position theta, is made uniform, linear, then only we can have that the power consumption in the instrument is proportional to the deflection of the pointer. Okay. Another thing, in ideal case, this inductance due to pressure coil should not be there. Actually, this is not inductance, this is a coil, but due to the nature of the coil, inherent inductance is there in the circuit. But in ideal case, the inductance should not be there, self inductance should not be there. If self inductance is not there, then we can directly write IP equal to V by RP. Otherwise, IP equal to V by ZP. What is Z? R plus R whole square plus inductive reactance due to this coil square, whole root over. You know that. Okay. Due to this inductance, some error is introduced, as and on a whole, our next discussion will be confined with what is the different types of error encountered in a electrodynamometer type wattmeter. First one is due to pressure coil inductance of the pressure coil. As I said that if no inductance was there, the angle between voltage and current was phi, but as some amount of inductance is there, obviously this IP and this V should be cophasal ideally when no inductance is there. But when some inductance is there, this IP and this V, they are not cophasal, some angle phi is there. You see, IP and V, some angle theta, some angle theta is there, and due to this, instead of phi, our actual angle becomes phi minus theta. For a lagging load and for leading load, you replace theta by minus theta, so it becomes phi plus theta. Okay. This is the mathematical deduction. Here I think beta is taken instead of phi. Okay. And due to this, what is the error that is calculated? That is calculated at last, that is the true power, Vi cos phi by Rs, that should be the true power, but due to beta, your power becomes this one. Okay, measured power. So instead of true power, Wt is there and measured power Wm is there. So obviously the error is introduced, and you know that what is the formula? Measured minus true whole divided by true into 100, that is your percentage error, that is calculated over here. Okay, some mathematical manipulation is there, I am not going into that detail. If you are having doubt, write in the box in Google Classroom, and feedback is essential in that case. Okay, now error is this much of error is introduced. You may astonish why sin phi is coming. You see Wt is what Vi cos phi, and the term is tan phi tan beta. If cos phi is multiplied with tan phi, you will get sin phi. Okay, now what is the definition of correction? So obviously after measurement some correction factor is required. What is that? Correction factor is a factor by which the actual wattmeter reading is multiplied to get the true power. Okay, for that is for lagging load, and this is for leading load. You replace beta by minus beta, so it becomes plus beta. So on a whole, for low power factor loads, error is high with respect to high power factor loads where the error is low. You may get confused, but do one thing: take some what is variable here and what is constant here. Take some fixed values and vary your beta. You will get to know what is power factor phi. Beta is a constant. Okay, so you change your power factor and you will get to verify these two statements. Okay, this is a remedy. What is the remedy to nullify or minimize the error due to pressure coil inductance? This mathematical deduction is not required at all, but still for your information I have displayed this. Just you need to know what is the scenario, what is the way to nullify that or to minimize that. To minimize, you have to put one capacitor across this non-inductive resistance, that's all. Okay, you need to know this much, but still for your information the mathematics behind this is given over here. What is the value of the capacitance? That may be required in some competitive exam. LP by RS square. You see that RS, non-inductive resistance. Okay, error due to pressure coil capacitance. Obviously whenever some coil is there, due to interturn some capacitance will be there, and fortunately the effect of capacitance and inductance due to pressure coil, they nullify each other to a certain extent. Power loss in pressure coil circuit. This is the most important thing, because you will get the answer to this question: what is compensating winding, what is the utility, that will be cleared over here. Before that, just go to the diagram here. Now what is the actual current carrying? IC. Okay, but actually the current being taken from the supply, that is I. So instead of I, we are getting IC, and this IP is getting subtracted from this I. So that's why the error is involved. Instead, if your connection was here also, then the voltage would have been something different. You know that. Now if you provide one series winding here in series with this pressure coil, and you place that series coil connected in series with this pressure coil, but location is near to the current coil, then what will be happening? Effect due to magnetic field will get nullified each other. It will be one series opposed connection. Okay, that's why instead of I plus IC plus IP, you will nullify IP effect, and the error will be minimized. Okay, this is valid for mainly low power factor measurement. So in case of low power factor load, excess current is carried. You know, when power factor is low, current becomes high, and obviously in pressure coil circuit we have non-inductive resistance R. So when current is high, resistance is there, I square R loss will be a significant amount. This error is minimized by providing a compensating winding connected in series with the pressure coil and placed very close to the current coil, so that it can oppose the field of the current coil. Okay, that's the answer. I think you got doubts clear, but still if you have that, we can discuss it on the discussion forum. The current in the compensating coil opposes the main field current coil, and as a result the resultant field is due to current without the pressure current, pressure circuit current or pressure coil current. Now error due to eddy current. If eddy current is introduced in the metallic parts by any reason, it distorts the main flux, obviously, and which introduces serious error during measurement. So in order to eliminate that effect, stranded conductors are used in coils, and application of solid metals are made as small as possible in coil supports. Error due to temperature. Wattmeter readings is affected due to change in ambient temperature. Reading also changes due to change in resistance of pressure coil and change in the stiffness of the spring. However, these two effects generally nullify each other. That's the fortunate thing of this discussion. Error due to stray magnetic field. Precision wattmeters, which are used for precise purpose, special purpose. They use a special type of system, aesthetic system. We will be discussing here. Just keep your presence. Precision wattmeter is made with utmost care so that they should not get affected by external magnetic fields. This type of wattmeter is not provided with metallic shield, otherwise error due to eddy current or error due to permanent magnetization may introduce serious error. So precision wattmeter is constructed as aesthetic system. What is that aesthetic system? Where two similar sets of fixed and moving coils are used, and the moving coils are mounted on the same shaft. This is the diagram. Pressure coil, current coil, again pressure coil, current coil. So two sets of each of them instead of one. Okay, that's called as aesthetic system. Precision wattmeter is constructed. Okay, we have gone it. Moved around a same shaft. Fixed coil pairs of fixed as well as moving coils are so connected that their magnetic fields are in opposition. As a result of this construction, deflecting torques acting on the same direction gets doubled. Any external field affects this system in a differential manner, and its net effect is thus gets zero. Details is not required. The statements are only important from your subject point of view as well as competitive exams point of view up to that extent. Now another special discussion after that, we will be going to induction type wattmeter. Low power factor wattmeter. What is that? Ordinary wattmeter is unsuitable for low power factor load measurement due to small deflecting torque. Besides, inductance of pressure coil circuit introduces considerable error due to low power factor. We have already discussed about it. Now here you can see the compensating coil. Anyway, to offset this effect, following measures are adopted. Pressure coil is made of low resistance in order to maintain large pressure coil current, thereby increasing the operating torque. Pressure coil is compensated as already discussed. Here is the compensating coil connected in series with the pressure coil but placed near to the current coil. Okay. Compensation of pressure coil is carried out by a bypass capacitor, which eliminates the effect of inductance due to pressure coil. This whole thing is pressure coil. Okay. So that in this inductance of pressure coil is minimized with this bypass capacitor. So three things we are taking care. First of all, resistance is low. Second of all, compensating coil is provided, and the third one is bypass capacitor, which minimizes the inductance of the pressure coil. Next, our discussion will be with induction type wattmeter. So obviously, as the name implies, it is used only for AC power measurement. In case of DC, induction instruments doesn't hold, you know that. And what is the catch here? Here two separate magnets will be there. You have gone through the construction of energy meter. Similar type of construction is there. One shunt electromagnet, one series electromagnet is there, and in the middle there will be some aluminum disc where two eddy currents will induced, and the flux due to each magnet and eddy current due to the other magnet simultaneously gives a net torque, and due to that torque the meter rotates. All the statements are given. Whenever you will get the starting material, you will get to know about it. Let me just explain with the figure. And obviously two things you should be taken care about: the deflecting, as in the case of energy meter, the resultant flux in the shunt magnet can be made exactly 90° applied by the help of copper shading bands. This was evident for the energy meter, as I think you can recall that. Controlling torque is provided by spiral spring, and damping is by a permanent magnet. Okay. An important feature: A scale is uniform and spans over about 300 degree. So which is a very good feature. This is the construction. It is your shunt magnet, this is your series magnet. Obviously you can see that the shunt magnet is connected across the supply, so voltage. Okay, voltage coil, it is the substitute of voltage coil. And series magnet, in series load again returns, so it is the substitute of current coil. Here is the moving disc, and here is the copper shading band, which makes the lagging of 90 degree, as we have already discussed. And here you can see non-inductive resistance R, as in a pressure coil circuit in a normal electrodynamometer type wattmeter. Then why this separate construction is there? Of course we will be discuss a comparative study later after finishing the working of induction type wattmeter. So let's now go to the phasor diagram of induction type wattmeter. Here one thing, this will be phi series, this is phi sh. Okay, so you can see it from here that the voltage and current V and I have a power factor angle theta, this theta. Okay, now this current introduces some amount of flux, which is, you can see it, load current I lags behind the supply voltage by an angle theta. Flux phi sh of shunt magnet is made to lag behind circuit voltage by 90 degree, which was the utility of the copper shading rings here. So V shunt magnet lags 90 degree, here this 90 degree, this is shunt magnet. And this shunt magnet again, it induces in the aluminum disc where eddy current is induced. Okay, you know that. So eddy current will be how much? 90 degree lagging, phi m sin omega t, you know that. Still if you are having doubt, we can discuss it, but still just remember, I cannot write here, that's the problem. Phi equal to phi m sin omega t, that is flux. Now what is the voltage then? V equal to d phi dt, n d phi dt. So ddt of sin omega t, phi cos omega t, sin and cos 90 degree difference, so phi and 90 degree will be your eddy currents due to shunt magnet ESH. Okay, and obviously the where is the induction of eddy current is there? In a aluminum disc, which is a closed path of resistive nature mostly. So high ESH and ISH current due to this eddy current will be cophasal. Okay, I think there should not be any doubt regarding that. On a similar note, this phi AC, here you can see hysteresis and saturation you can neglect. If you can neglect, then the flux created by the series magnet is phi AC, will be in phase with current I. So with respect to I, phi will be in series. And again, due to the same principle as discussed here, it will introduce some voltage 90 degree lagging, that will be EAC, EMF induced, not voltage, I should say EMF anyway. So EAC, 90 degree lag. Again, due to the same reason as in case of ESH and ISH, a current series magnetic current will be eddy current due to series magnet, that will be IAC, will be in phase with it. Okay, if you are having doubt, just go back to this portion from where we started the discussion regarding phasor diagram again. So if it is clear to you up to this, then you can see that, as we have discussed earlier, the interaction between phi AC and ISH, so this flux and that current will create one torque, and this flux and that current will create another torque. Okay, it is evident here, you can see that phi SH IAC and phi AC ISH, phi AC ISH and phi SH IAC. What is the angle between these two? Theta. What is the angle between these two? 180 minus theta. Clear? Angle between phi sh and ISE is theta, whereas phase angle between phi SE and ISH is 180 minus theta. So what is the average torque? This one. What is 180 minus theta? You will get the plus sign over here. Here cos theta will not be there because we can take common and it will make here. Okay. So here we can say the flux is shunt field. Now what is shunt field? Phi sh proportional to supply voltage, and that in series magnet is proportional to load. Hence average torque on the disc is proportional to Vi cos theta. Okay. What is the advantage and disadvantage of induction type meter? Advantage is robust in construction, scale is long, damping is good, and sustainable from the effect of stray magnetic field. What are the disadvantages? Variation of working temperature and variation of frequency introduces error in measurement. And the secondly, it cannot measure DC as it is an induction type of instrument. Excuse me. Now the last topic for this section, that is comparison between electrodynamometer and induction type wattmeter. Here in electrodynamometer type wattmeter, current coil is split in two parts, but pressure coil is one, except precision wattmeters, where we have discussed that the system is aesthetic one and both the coils are two sets. That is a special construction. Where in case of induction type wattmeter, current coil as well as pressure coil are split in two parts, placed in two arms of two different magnets. Here one set of winding will be here, the second set of winding is here. You can see pressure coil, this is one set, this is second set, here also one set, here also second set. Okay. Moving coil is pressure coil. None of the coils are moving, only aluminum disc moves. Pointer is attached on the moving coil, pointers is attached to the aluminum disc. Fluid friction damping is used, air friction nature. Eddy current damping is used. This instrument can be used in both DC as well as AC systems, and as we have discussed, this instrument cannot be used in DC systems. This type of instruments can be manufactured for high degree of accuracy. Accuracy of this type of instrument is less, the accuracy varies widely with change in temperature and frequency. Power consumption in this type of instrument is usually low, power consumption is comparatively higher. Weight of the moving system in this type of instrument is quite low. Weight of the moving system is comparatively high. Scale is uniform, the instrument has long and uniform scale. And working torque is relatively weak, the instrument has comparatively stronger working torque. So that's all for the section. We will start a discussion during measurement of power using instrument transformer in the next segment. So till then, thank you, stay home, stay safe, happy learning.